There is no need for electronics when out hiking, or at least that is what some say. But honestly, I believe they got it all wrong. Electronics could add so much to the overall experience and comfort on your hikes, so therefore in this episode I will talk about all of the electronics that I bring and how they earned a spot in my pack. And by the way, this is just the beginning. This is the first episode of many where I will go through all of my gear under the hashtag MyGear. But now let's focus on this bag that holds all of my electronics that I bring, and it weighs in at only 290 grams. Bringing electronics with you on your hikes stirs up a lot of emotion for some people who claim that spending time out in nature does not require electronics. And for sure, they are correct. But why settle for less than perfect and bring stuff that will add to the safety, overall experience and comfort on your hikes? Yep, that is a question. What do you think about bringing electronics? Good or bad, crazy or smart, or just plain stupid? Leave a comment. Now let's dig into this bag, what's in it and why I bring it. I prefer having control over the temperatures while out hiking. It gives me a good understanding of how my gear performs in different scenarios, and based on that, I then know what I need to change to be correctly dialed in for staying warm. And this button weighs in at only 12 grams. It's a Bluetooth device that connects to your phone with a dedicated app. It shows you both the current temperature and the humidity. And because it's continuously logging the data, you can also go back to see the history. This means you will always have control over the humidity and the temperatures, both equally important when trying to stay warm. I find this to be a very valuable piece of gear to bring, especially if you're new to hiking and maybe lack the experience and before your gear is dialed in. It is easily accessible from Amazon and it is cheap, so no real reason not to get one. I will of course link to it down in the description, along with all of the gear I show here today. The second piece of gear from my electronics bag is my pump. And the reason I bring it is not because I'm lazy, but the main reason is that when you're inflating your pad inside a tent with a pump sack, especially a one-person tent, that is kind of a challenge. In addition to that, you're also lacking a bit of energy after a full day of hiking, so having this small device doing this for you with zero effort is kinda nice. There are a lot of different pumps out there, but the one I choose and use is the Zero pump from Flexdale. It weighs in at only 58 grams, including the nozzle and the rechargeable battery. It will be able to inflate or deflate your pad somewhere around 15 times on one charge, depending on the size of your pad. Another benefit is also it's completely hands-free, so no reason standing or sitting in an awkward position during the 1 minute it takes to fill the pad. Three other good alternatives are the tiny pump at 109 grams with a built-in lantern, and that is kinda nice. Or the Thermal micro pump at 63 grams, if you own a Thermal pad. If you want the lightest pump out there and at only 9 grams with the included adapter for your pad, you have the Pad Pal from Recreations, powered by your power bank, so no included battery. Don't listen to the haters, be smart and bring a pump. Bringing a headlamp with you on your hikes is a no-brainer and a must in most cases, unless you're hiking in Sweden in summertime and especially up in the north when we have like 24 hours of daylight. But despite that, I always bring mine because I like having it as a mood light inside my tent during the evenings. Winter, spring or fall is a different scenario, and to bring a headlamp then is a must. To move around camp or to go out and pee, or if you're planning to make an early start or arriving late to camp in the evenings. My headlamp of choice for many years now has been the old NU25 from 2017, but if you're up to date with my previous videos, I just did a review on the NU20 Classic, and this is my new go-to headlamp until something better comes along. It weighs in at only 36 grams, it has a maximum power of 360 lumens, and it features a red light. And the runtimes are also pretty good and enough for most people for some occasional night activities. Other good alternatives are the Petzl Bindi at 35 grams or the Nitecore NU33 at 95 grams for some more power and battery life. One gear that I always bring, but it's not included in my base weight and it's not in my electronics bag, and that is my watch. This is the COROS Apex 2 Pro, and it is not just a watch. It includes really good maps and a compass along with lots of other good features. I can add my planned routes in there to find my way, and it will give me notice if I deviate from my route. And it always leaves a breadcrumb trail, so there is a very low risk of getting lost. I use this watch as a tool for navigation, and I normally don't bring a paper map or a compass. And the battery life on this is also insane. Like 30 days on normal use and a week if you use it for navigation, like 8 to 9 hours a day. I love using a watch like this because how easy it is to use. Next item is of course a power bank that is a must if you're using electronics. And for me, 10,000 milliamps is about what I need for a week. I mainly use it to charge my phone maybe once or twice, and maybe sometimes also my watch if I hike a little bit longer days. This year I added the MB10000 Generation 3 as an upgrade to the old Generation 2 Silver Edition. The first reason to change is of course the weight. At only 151 grams, it is 4 grams lighter than the Generation 2. Not much, but small savings matters too. And some small changes are made on the Generation 3, making it a slightly better alternative than the previous. The Generation 3 has received rounded rubberized corners, making it more shock resistant and makes the Generation 3 look slightly smaller in size. But that is just an illusion. They are the exact same size. The soft and rounded corners will also cause less wear and tear on your clothes and pockets and other places where you normally store your power bank. Gone from the Generation 2 are the USB-A output, and left is only 2 USB-C ports. For you who really need a USB-A, they were kind enough to send a USB-A to USB-C adapter in the package. Gen 3 has a path-through charging, which means you can not only charge 2 devices at the same time, but you can also charge the power bank and at the same time charge another device. The Generation 3 now features battery indicator for better visuals on the battery status. 1 flashing means less than 10%, 1 constant 10 to 25, 2 constant 25 to 50, 3 constant 50 to 75, and 4 constant 75 to 100%. I won't go into more details than that, and if you want more specifications, you can just visit Nitecore and search for the MB10000 Generation 3. The 151 grams on the Generation 3 I believe is unmatched, and it is super great. You can charge your phone like once or twice if you use like an iPhone 13 or later. This kind of small package is like amazing. The MB10000 is great, but it is also very expensive. And to be honest, this is not where you can save the most amount of weight, so unless you're looking to go like ultralight or super ultralight, you could save yourself a little bit of money and buy a cheaper alternative. Now, what about a phone? Don't you bring one? Well, of course I do. And the one I bring is the iPhone 13. I use it mainly for taking photos, shooting small video clips for movies, and for calling home and send messages. But also for listening to Spotify when I turn off the light. It also acts like a backup light source like I mentioned, and also a backup for my navigation if my watch breaks. Even if I think that the opposite is more likely, that the phone breaks rather than my watch. For all of this, you of course also need cords to charge your devices. And for me who just changed from the old to the new Generation 3 power bank, I haven't yet bought any new cables, so I need 3 cables all in all, but for them to work I also need this small adapter that Nitecore sent in the package. The one I need is a small USB to Lightning cable for my phone, 1 product specific cable for my watch, and 1 USB to USB-C for the rest of my gear. I will in the near future replace all of my cords and drop this small adapter that I need for now to save me a little bit of weight. Or you can get one of these adapter sets that are available, but I'm a bit worried I will lose this small thing, so I don't know. I prefer these separate cords, these short ones. They don't weigh much. Now there's only one thing I would like to add to my set, and what I recommend you all to bring, especially if you're hiking alone in remote places and exposed areas, and that is a satellite device like the Garmin InReach or Messenger. When shit hits the fan, those devices could literally save your life. Now I hope you enjoyed today's episode on electronics, and the first of many episodes with a focus on my gear. If not, just leave a comment. Hit like, subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon.